welcome to Movement Not Miracles. I'm Anna from Eat, Move, Be Happy. And Movement Not Miracles is your bite-sized session around keeping your joints mobile, looking after your posture, stretching through some of your muscles, and generally feeling better, moving more, and avoiding those aches and pains that we get from stiffening up. So today is all about shoulders and upper back on this very snowy Thursday. I thought we'd seen the last of the snow for a while, but no, it is back. But okay, well, I'll ignore the snow outside of the window. I'm reasonably warm inside. So to start off with shoulders, we're going to do, you can do these seated or standing, by the way, and we're going to focus on improving our posture, so broadening across your collarbones and getting some more movement through your shoulders and your shoulder blades, and some more movement through your upper back, just to help with a better posture and avoid that upper back stiffening up. Because if you're anything like me, I sit for a long time with my shoulders forward, hunched round, and then my upper back aches. So to start off with, a very simple shoulder roll. So thinking of your weight evenly distributed, whether you are seated or standing, and really lift your shoulders up towards your ears and then back and down. So as you squeeze your shoulder blades together and bring your shoulders back and down, really stretch across the front of your chest. So focus on as much movement as you can get out of those shoulder blades on your back, which should be pinching together and then widening as you move them around your back. So we're going to do just the shoulder rolls, and you don't have to use the arms to start off with, and see if you can get every last millimetre of movement through your shoulders. So really hunch up to your ears and then back and down. And then we're going to introduce the arms. So as your arms go up, just need to move away from the wall. And then what I want you to focus on, particularly if you are standing, is as you go back and down, we don't want this to happen. So we don't want our belly to stick out and our back to arch. So we want, think of that bottom tucked under, hips forwards. So if you poke at your tummy, it should be contracting. Your tummy muscles should be working, and the muscles in your bum should be working to keep all of this bit stable. So we don't want that to happen. Mainly because, one, it can put pressure on your lower back, but also if you've got this bit stabilised, you are more likely to get a bit more movement in that upper back, which is what we are aiming for. So everything below the waist should be staying still, which allows us to really concentrate on the movement through your shoulders and shoulder blades. Now you probably noticed that we're aiming for arms back, just behind the ears, nice and straight behind the ears. My shoulder flexibility is not fantastic, so you focus on what you can do. So if you are doing the best that you can, which I am, then that's all we can ask for. So one way for me, I'm just going to grab my belt, to get a little bit more movement out of my shoulder blades and my shoulders, is to do what we call shoulder dislocation. You'll have seen me do these before if you are a favourite of Movement Not Miracles. So you need some sort of, this is a yoga strap, belt, some sort of belt, dressing gown cord, dressing gown belts are useful. It needs to be long enough, it needs to be rigid, and it needs to be long enough that you can have your arms far enough apart, you see here, again stabilising in your lower back through your waist. So long enough for your arms to go all the way over without bending your arms and without forcing that shoulder joint. There shouldn't be any pain in the joint. So again, you do what you can do. This is about at my limit. Just there, my shoulder blades are really squeezing together. and I'm really stretching through my chest. And then arms come over. The belt just gives you something to brace yourself against, which for me helps me get a little bit more movement. You can also use something like a broom handle, anything that you can place your arms on. Now, if you shorten the distance between your hands, the harder it is, and you need more movement and flexibility in your shoulders and your shoulder blades. But as with any of these, you do what you can do. So if you need your hands quite wide like me, and you are still getting some movement through that upper back and your shoulders, then that's better than doing nothing. So my shoulders feel a little bit more mobile. I feel like I've got a bit more space across my chest as well, which is good. So anything that we can do, if we tend to be quite round-shouldered, anything that we can do to broaden the chest, stretch these muscles here, and work the muscles in our upper back to support us in this better position, that's what we're aiming for. So we're going to do some twists now, just to get some movement through our upper back. Now to start off with, we're going to focus on mobility. So we're going to twist round through the whole of our back. So just relax through this to start off with, and then we'll change the focus a little bit. So we're just aiming for some mobility to start with. And we're aiming to get the shoulders all the way around. Okay, so now I want you to think about gripping, whether you're seated or standing, so stopping the movement in your lower half. So again, stabilising, pelvis tilted under and gripping through your bum and your belly. And as we turn round, we're trying to keep our hips pointing forwards. So we're thinking of twisting through our chest all the way around, and then the other way all the way around. So I'm not letting my hips go like that. Can you see the difference? So this time we're going to add a little hold at the end of the movement. So we're aiming for a bit of a stretch as well. So I've got my setup sorted. So as I move around, and this is as far as I can go, I'm going to just hold that move. Now I'm thinking of really twisting my chest round, but I'm thinking of pulling, supporting that hip backwards. So it's almost like wringing a towel. You've got one action coming forwards and your hips going backwards. And then we do the same the other side. So I'm now twisting to my right, but my left hip I'm trying to keep back so that I get a little bit more movement through my spine. Our spine, our vertebrae should have some movement. Not loads, obviously, because it's there to support us. If we have a really wobbly spine, we won't be able to stand up. So it's doing its job, but they should move a little bit. And particularly in the upper back, that's a region that it moves less. However, that's the bit that tends to get a bit stiffer and therefore a bit tighter and ache. Right, so we're now going to do some side bends. And we're just going to focus on the upper back for the side bends. So we're going to do them with elephant ears. So if you think of hands clasped behind your head and elbows back, and exactly the same set, stable as we can. Keep your elbows back. These are our elephant ears. We don't look anything like elephant ears, do we? I don't know why I came up with that idea. I suppose they could flap like elephant ears if we had that sort of an imagination. Don't forget to keep breathing, that bit's quite important. And one more. Okay, and then final one for today. I'm going to use a wall. In fact, you can use a trusty chair here. So if you have a surface, work surface, window ledge, Sometimes your banister rail is about the right height. So you can use, my bottom's going to go out of shot, but don't worry about that. What we're aiming for is to be able to push down and get some work through that upper back. So your arms are straight and pushing down. Just let me show you what's happening behind, because you're going to get some stretch through your legs. So if you think of pushing your bottom backwards as you straighten through your arms and your legs stay vertical, so you end up in that sort of a position. So rather than your back being rounded like that, you're aiming for your back to be flat. So for that to happen, stick your bottom backwards, and then we're pushing down on the surface with your hands. Now, you will feel some stretch through the back of your legs. If you're doing this seated, you can still get the action through pushing into a surface through your upper back, and it will take out the legs. So if your legs are the limiting factor, you can do this one sitting on the edge of a chair and folding forwards. If you're doing it standing, then you're going to get some stretch through the back of the legs as well. So let me show you this bit again. So the idea is hands are flat on the surface, elbows flat, and keeping your shoulders away from your ears. So we don't want to be like this, we want to be like this. So for that to happen, you have to move your shoulder blades like we were doing at the beginning. So your shoulder blades need to be pinching together so that you've got this space across your collarbones. A lot to think about. So let's see if you can bring your shoulder blades together, relax through your jaw, see if you can get as much stretch through those armpits as you can. And if you lift your head up and press down with your hands, you might feel like in your upper back a little bit more, which actually feels quite nice for me. So I'm just going to show you a slightly different version. You can do the same sort of thing against a wall. So if you lean back away from the wall, but this time you're on a bit of an angle. And again, so if you haven't got a surface that you can place your hands flat against, you can find a wall and you can do the same sort of thing. The idea is you've got something to brace yourself against, to push your arms back, but controlling through the lower half of your back, just to get a little bit more movement and action in that upper thoracic region. So you can do these movements and these stretches throughout the day. Don't wait for Movement Not Miracles. Let you into a secret. You can do this yourself. Go back and look at the video library if you need a bit of inspiration. But keeping moving, even if it's shoulder rolls whilst you are waiting for the kettle to boil, or maybe some side bends or some twists. Keeping your joints moving is definitely better than not. That's when they stiffen up and you can get some aches and pains. It is movement, not miracles, so we can't solve everything with movement, but we do know, I certainly feel so much better for having done some stretching and some movement at frequent intervals throughout the day. Don't forget to check out the website, www.eatmovebehappy.com. We have different online coaching programs aimed at supporting people through this slightly difficult time at the moment, whether it's to do with eating or exercise habits, whether it's to look after your overall well-being, mental health as well as physical health. And if you know of anybody, if you know of anybody who might benefit, please check out the website or contact us and we're happy to answer any questions. Take care, keep moving, have an enjoyable and safe weekend, and I will be back with more Movement Not Miracles next Tuesday. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.